Hello, beautiful lady.
Hi.
You look good, girl. I like this look on you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So, welcome everybody joining us. We're going to wait for our guests to come on any moment now. But welcome to Minding My Business with myself
And Tanya.
and Tanya and Daniela, where we have Minding My Business to elevate your business, your mindset, and
Your life.
heck yeah. All right, you guys, today we have a fire guest, and we're just seeing if she's on yet. But today is going to be such a great episode, as always. And so, what's going on for you today? While we wait for our guest to come on, I think somebody. Oh, she's here actually. Perfect. Victoria's here. Let's add her, accept her. Victoria.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, beautiful queens. How are you?
Oh, we're great. How are you?
I am doing fantabulous. Super excited to be on here with these two beauties.
Fantabulous. I love that word. I've never heard that word before. So welcome
That's
to
gonna
the
be
show.
a new word, fantabulous.
Hey,
Awesome.
let's roll with it. We'll make it a thing. But you're the creator of it. So we'll always give you credit for it. So all of you guys, welcome. Thank you so much for being on Minding My Business. I picked up some things on your bio. So for those of you who don't know this powerhouse, Victoria, she is the creator of Queen Up Now movement. She's a coach, mentor, speaker, award-winning realtor, and she loves to share her knowledge to help change the lives and financial future of her clients. Victoria, you are a powerhouse. Danielle and myself got to meet you personally at the event last week, and we're just so inspired by you. Your energy is amazing. You're contagious in a good way. What inspired you to create this Queen Up Now movement?
Oh my goodness. So yeah, there's so many hurt women out there that don't even know that they're hurt. I started a group called the Ladies Locker Room. I actually did it just for business because I'm a real estate agent. And I was thinking, you know what, if I start this group, I'm gonna call it the Ladies Locker Room. I told my husband, I think I could probably get about maybe 50 of my friends on there. And then I'll start promoting, hey, if you know anyone looking to buy a house, let me know. So I went with this. This was about 2.5 years ago. And then we got like 100 people in it, then 200, 300. We were up to 27,000 queens in the Ladies Locker Room.
Wow.
Amazing.
Insane. But so I started cancel real estate. We have a thing called Friday Hustle. That's when everybody can promote their business. But it's about helping each other and lifting each other up and being amazing to one another and teaching one another that it's okay to be good to other women. I've never had a woman mentor. I've never had somebody woman come up to me and say, you know what, Victoria, you're amazing, you're great, what can I do to help? And we need to change that. We need to change, because these men, they don't fight with each other. They get mad at each other, and then 2 minutes later they're back to being BFFs. They're awesome. They go together. Us women, as soon as we see a girl walking in and she's wearing shorts, Tanya, remember my story?
Yeah, we're going to ask you about that.
We're very judgmental, and we have to stop right there and then and be like, hey, no, we don't do that. We lift each other up. So instead of looking at that girl and being like, oh, did you see what she was wearing? Why don't you say, man, she looks good? And that's what I'm trying to teach these beautiful queens, that we can help each other and just be amazing, beautiful queens with one another. So the Ladies Locker Room started that way. And then I started getting a lot of inboxes about, Victoria, I'm going through this. What do you think I should do? Victoria this, Victoria. And it was just, I'm talking about a lot of messages. And I started talking to my personal mentor, Preston Brown, and he said, Victoria, you have a gift. These people listen to you. Go with your gift. You got to do something big with that. And we just started coming up with names like, what can we, a name that's going to inspire women, that's going to give them that, I'm here. So Queen, and then I was to say Queen Up, but I was like, that's not even, it's Queen Up now, not tomorrow, not in a week, now. What can you do right now, this minute, to queen up one little thing that you can do, And it just started this whole movement, and everybody's so excited about it. And I'm just like fired up about it because I just see thousands of women being good to each other and lifting each other up. And on Friday, we have this thing called Friday Hustle, like I told you. And I tell them, let's not buy from the Walmarts and the Targets. They don't need any more about our money. Let's put our links, whatever it is that you sell. If you sell whatever to lose weight products or makeup, or let's buy from one another. So everybody puts their link, and I'm talking about hundreds of links. And I go through, I'm like, you know what? I need a new lip gloss. I'm going to buy it from this girl and not go to Target and get it there, and just help each other, So yeah, that's what this Queen Up Now is about.
That's amazing.
So that's amazing, because that's a big reason why we started Minding My Business, was for other entrepreneur women, whether it be real estate, whether it be fashion, whether it be beauty industries, any industry, or even stay-at-home moms, to really box up their lives. Because like I said, a lot of, especially the real estate that we're in, Victoria, real estate is such a man-owned and driven industry. And it's time for us to change that, honestly. Yeah. But I love how you spoke about and used that example with Tanya about, the attire. Because I'm very, very passionate about that. I feel like you are 100% spot on when you said that us women, we tend to be catty, If we don't catch ourselves, which I admire that you did, you owned it. You owned that. The first thought that came to your head was, oh, wait, those shorts are short. But then you said, wait, we need to have these conversations with ourselves. We have to call ourselves on the BS and be like, hey, for example, Victoria, well, that's not very nice. And then you got to know Tanya, and you're like, wow, she's actually a boss. I love that, because I know personally, that's always been one thing that I push forward. Like, we should all be able to dress and act how we want, and not, because unfortunately men like to value a woman's worth by the way she dresses or by the way she talks. And that's not right. We all know that. Like, we should be able to dress, talk, dance, act how we want, and not be by the neck. So being able to use such a powerful, strong woman, call yourself out, is so admirable. Like, I love that, because even with the growth that we go through, we're still going to have those moments, but it's about calling ourselves out, changing them.
Let me tell you, because I don't think you guys know what happened, right?
Yeah, tell the audience, because we're speaking life into them.
So we were at an event, and my husband and I were super blessed to be at this event. I had gone to get some coffee, and the people there were super rowdy, amazing. I love the energy. But I saw this one girl wearing a cute little white outfit, okay? But she had white shorts that I thought they were too short. I was being judgmental. I was like, oh. But I didn't see her face though. I saw.
And for you guys, real fast, the shorts were longer than my hands by my side, just so you know.
Yeah, well, they were.
Just so you know,
yeah, they weren't that short. I was just being judgmental. I was just being ridiculous. So I saw Tanya walking, and I'm like, nice blazer with the shorts, and I'm like, man, those are short. Of course they were not short, but me in my mind, those are short. And then she had red hair, her red hair, and I was like, where? She's walking right in front of me, and I'm like, and then I said, Hey, so my other personality is Victoria, and then Sasha right here. Sasha's just a rude witch. Sasha just thinks she knows everything, and her ego is like, ah. So Sasha is like, and then I have to shut Sasha up and say, hey, none of your business. She looks great. I love her hair. You know what? You look awesome. And I started doing that in my head. That was it. So then we go to the lunch, and we're talking about the VIP lunch. And this gentleman, Carlos Reyes, says, I need you guys to meet my mentor that changed my life, you know? And then they're like, oh my gosh. And then here comes Tanya, and I'm like, like, she is like mentoring multimillionaires, right? And I was like, you see, Sasha, I told you.
Sasha. See, Sasha.
But we got to speak. We sat down for a minute, and I had to tell her, because I need to hold myself accountable. So when I act like, you know, like a witch, I shouldn't do that. And I had to hold myself accountable. And I told Tanya what happened. And I said, you know what? I am learning not to do that, because it's a learned behavior also. And I heard my mom do that, gossip about everybody. Other women do it. So you kind of follow into that direction. I'm not as bad as before. I catch myself and I stop myself and I say, hey, that's none of your business. Stop it, Sasha. And it just stops. And then get this, we got to spend time together, and I got to meet these two beautiful women, super intelligent, hardworking. They hustle. And it's just like, man, these are the women I want to follow. They're freaking awesome. They're queens.
We love, and you know, people need to understand that stuff too. Like, especially if you want to elevate, like, your one thing is relationship, right? Because this is about elevating your business, your mindset, and your life. If you want to elevate your life, you also need to have the right people in place. And one of the things is, like, you know, Danielle and I, like, I always have Danielle's back. And if I do believe something isn't, and she'll ask me a question, I'm gonna be straight up with her. But the biggest thing is having that strong, supportive, you know, inner circle of women as you begin to elevate and do the work, which it sounds like you've done a lot of work. And we saw you on stage and we were like, we're like, oh my gosh, wow, you were so courageous.
Yes, that was tough. It was a little tough for me, but you know what? If you have to be transparent 100% all the time. How are you going to help other women if you're faking your life? You know, what you see on social media, that's pretty much me on a daily basis. And when you don't see me on social media, that's because either I had a bad day or I feel like depressed. I'm not having it. And I will go on the next day and be like, man, yesterday was not a good day, guys, but today's a new day. Let's do this. Because we have to be transparent. People think we have this perfect life, and it's not perfect. I fight with my husband. My kids, I can't stand them sometimes. My husband, I love him every day, but I don't like him every day. You know, and everybody thinks we, on social media, there's this perfect life, and it's not. It really isn't.
When you take those mental breaks, I love that you're talking about this, because that's why, one of the reasons why we created this, you know, series, this Minding My Business. When you feel like you're down, or you're not this powerhouse, this queen, or your crown has tilted, what are some tools that you use to pick yourself back up and to check yourself?
Well, first of all, if I'm really not feeling it, I stay home and I take a nap too. And it's okay to cry it out, because we have so much emotions built up. You don't want to burst later on. I cry it out, because when I cry, that's I'm healing, or I'm getting rid of all the negative that I have in me, or the argument I had with my mom or my daughter, and it all comes out. And then I'm like, you know what? I feel better. Now I start breathing. Then I start being grateful for the daughter. Even if I had a big fight with her, I'm like, you know what? I have a beautiful daughter. And then I put my YouTube motivational videos, and it just boom, boom. It takes me about 2, maybe 3 hours to get back to the place where I need to be. But it's a process, because, I mean, me as a woman, my emotional state of mind is always, I'm working on listings. I'm working with buyers, my kids, my grandkids, my mom, my husband, his mom. It's my team. Like I have a team. We're having lunch right now. We're doing videos. Everybody's like, Victoria, Victoria, Victoria. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you gotta take a break, because if you don't, I mean, imagine when my husband comes home, I'm like, you. It's not even his fault. It's everything that I have inside that needs it just bursts. So I gotta take a minute. I really do. Even if it's in the bathroom, just in there and crying it out or whatever. You don't have to cry. You can do your breathing or just being grateful. When he makes me mad, I remember, driving home from a birthday party, and I was just me and my daughter, and everybody was there with their spouse, and I would be like, God, how come I don't have a spouse? Like, I've been single a long time, and I just want somebody to love me, and I just need I want to hold hands with somebody, and I want somebody to tell me I'm beautiful, and I just want to have a good relationship. And I remember that day crying, and then, after I healed, I attracted the person. After I healed and I learned to be by myself, and I did a lot of Reiki and hypnotherapy and angel cards, everything you can think of, meditation. After I healed, then he showed up. And now when I get upset for whatever reason, I go back to that day, and then I say, man, I'm so blessed to have an amazing man. He's not perfect, but I'm not perfect either. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I just got chills right now. Yeah.
I
That's so
got chills.
great. And I love that you mentioned that you weren't out there searching for Mr. Right. You worked on yourself first so that you could attract Mr. Right. I think that's key for all you single ladies that are watching now, or they're going to be looking at the replays. A lot of heartbreak happens, and we end up getting more damage by not working on ourselves. We have to first work on ourselves to be able to attract Mr. Right. So now that you have your amazing husband, how is it that you're able to prioritize your home life and your business life?
I'm still working on that. My husband. So let me tell you, when I met him, I was very upfront with him. Like I said, I'm not here to lie. I told him straight up, look, I don't cook. I know how to cook, but I'm not going to be cooking every day. And I don't. I cook like once or twice a month.
Hey, girl,
I don't think I have a cooking lady. Okay? I'm a workaholic. I love working. I'm always on social media because that's the way I get my business, through Facebook and Instagram. I was very straightforward with him. There's no sugar, anything. I don't iron. I said, so you expect, somebody to come home and iron and rub your feet every once in a while? Yes, I will. But that's not my personality. If that's what you want, you're with the wrong girl. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen. So I just needed to be transparent with him so he understood I love to work. So how I balance it now is we had to go to therapy. We went with our therapist, and she told me that I have to give him 1 day of no phone, 1 day of we're dating, like we go on a date, 1 day of being good to each other. And that's what we ended up doing. He gets 1 full day where nobody's around. It's just us. And we are like, we took it to the next level though. Like the love we had for each other was just, okay, I love you. Now it's, I'm in love with you. When we are together, like we're touching our face and looking at each other. Try this with your partner. 2 minutes of looking at each other in your eyes. 2 minutes. Most people can't do that. They do 20 seconds and they start laughing, or they get nervous. 2 minutes, and put your timer. And I mean, no laughing, just deep looking at him or at her. And you're going to see that that's going to change your life, because you're seeing their soul. You're actually seeing it's just such a beautiful thing. And I didn't really believe that before. And my husband didn't either, but we started doing that. And that is just so beautiful. Like those 2 minutes right there, it's like being with that person intimate for 3 hours. It's beautiful. And you can do that with your kids. My therapist taught me and my youngest daughter, we did that once. And we were both like, oh, this is weird. But we went through it. We haven't done it ever since because she's like, Mom, I'm not going to do that. But do it with your significant other. And that to him, that has more value to him than me sitting next to him watching a movie and not really connecting. That connection we have for those 2 minutes, it's insane. It's beautiful. I challenge each and every one of you to do it. Do it.
Yeah, that's called tantric, but there's different levels. Everybody thinks like it's all about sex, but it's actually about intimacy. And that was one of them. I know there was one where you put did you do the one where you look in the eyes and you put your hand on your heart and then he puts his hand on top of your heart? Or no, he puts his hand on your heart, you put his on your hand on his heart, and then he puts his hand over your hand.
We haven't done that yet, but that's our next one. Thank you for that. No, I just look at him and I'm like,
I know you guys were doing that. I remember like in the car, and then you like petted his face. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. Go ahead.
We worked on it a lot. I mean, this isn't what we were 5 years ago, we were a hot mess. It was chaotic. And he wanted to just be a better person. I wanted to be a better person, but all this came from proximity, who you hang out with. If he's hanging out with his old friends that are partying and drinking every day, and they're over there cheating on their wives and doing things they shouldn't be doing at strip clubs when their wife is at home pregnant, that. He changed his friends. Like now he hangs out with people that love their wife, people that are about business, people that want to be better fathers, So he started picking that up and said, hey, this isn't that bad. Maybe this is something I want to do. So proximity is everything. You are who you hang out with, and that is so important. I remember my mom telling me this all the time, like, or hearing it. And I never believed it. I'm like, yeah, sure. Oh, now I'm very careful who I share my energy, my time with. If you're not at that level, and I mean like your frequency, I don't mean like, oh, you have to be rich. You have to. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your energy and your frequency. If we're not at the same level, we're probably not gonna be hanging out. I'll be cordial and nice, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, first off, Daniela, you got to practice that with Art. We got to tag Art and have you guys practice that one.
Which one?
Yes.
The eye staring one.
We did it. You actually.
Did you? I didn't know if you actually did it though.
Yeah, I did it. And like Victoria said, I cracked up. Like I was like, oh no, we got to do this. We got to do this right. But yeah, I was cracking up in the beginning because I never done that. Like to me, I was like staring to his eyes. What? But yeah, so we did it, and then we did words of affirmation. Like, I love you for being you. I love you even at your worst. We did that, and it was amazing. What we need to do is do it consistently, like once a week, because we're not doing it like that. We did it for that exercise, and I think we did it one other time, and that was it. But like that, we need to start putting that into our routine. But Victoria, so I love how you mentioned about changing your circle. So what is one thing or your biggest advice that you can tell our audience about how they can go about changing their circle? Because you're right, even when my mom used to tell me, oh, birds of a feather flock together, I was like, no, right. Just they're doing that doesn't mean, that's me. But no, you're right. When you're around somebody that's, for example, like yourself, uplifting, high energy, it's going to push you to match that energy, to be, motivated, to want to do the good things in life. So what's one that you can tell our audience, a step that they can take to be able to change their circle around them?
Don't be embarrassed. Do not be embarrassed, because if you're embarrassed, I got to let the dog out. She keeps... Okay.
Oh, what does she look
She's like a 3-pound Yorkie. She already left. Not so
Aw.
crazy. She's all like wants to go like, don't be embarrassed who you are. You know what I mean? I'm in this group called YBL, okay? One thing that's super important and I learned from my mentors is you have to be mentored by somebody, and sometimes you have to pay because you're exchanging energy. A lot of us are like, oh my God, you want me to pay $2,000 to go to that event, or you want me to pay 5,000 or even $100, but yet we go and buy a $5,000 purse, or yeah, we go and spend over $2,000 on going out to eat on a monthly basis. But when it comes to us being mentored, we don't want to pay for that. That is super important because you are who you hang out with. I'm hanging out. We're going to the Maldives on Tuesday. We're going to Maldives for 5 days, Bangkok for 6 days. I am hanging out with multimillionaires and a couple of billionaires. Do you think I'm not going to pay that extra money to sit there and learn from these people? I mean, these people have already done what I want to do. Where I want to be, they are there already. So I want to make sure and sit there and learn. Keep my mouth quiet, ask a question, stay quiet, because a lot of us, we want to be the one to, me. I did this and no. Be quiet, listen, learn, take it all in, take notes. I carry a notebook in my purse everywhere I go. Whenever I'm talking to somebody that I know I'm going to learn something from, I start taking notes. It's very important. And just be yourself. I used to be super like shy, believe it or not, I was shy growing up, you know, and going to events, hanging out, let's say with, I was about 19 years old, hanging out because I was a secretary for a radio station. I used to be so embarrassed because I didn't speak properly, because of my skin tone, because I didn't have the right clothes, because all these women had a lot of money and they dressed up and you could tell, you know, they had these beautiful, amazing perfumes. And I mean, I had Avon perfumes that cost me $2 back in the day. And I used to be embarrassed. And I had to learn that no, we're all the same. You could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, and you still have the same problems that I have. That is what connects people. We all go through things. You know, just because you're educated doesn't make you better than the other person, or just because you have money doesn't make you better than the other person. So I had to learn that and be self-confident in my skin and in the way I am. Okay, I'm loud. Sorry, there's nothing I can do about that, and I don't want to change that. Before, when I would go to events, that I would have people come up to me and say, oh my God, I swear, I think you ate a microphone. Like, you're so freaking loud. That's so embarrassing. Over and over and over. Even at church, you know, we used to go to this mega church and I would be the one in the front row. Yay, amen, amen. And people would look at me like, well, my daughters would be so embarrassed. But I heard a long time ago when I was like 17 years old that the loudest person in the room gets not just the attention. Of course, you have to be clapped. Don't be all crazy, you know, but you'll be the richest. So I'm like, oh, you don't have to tell me twice. So when I heard that, I'm like, you know what? You need to, when you walk into a room, when I walk into a room, everybody in that room knows that I do real estate. That's Victoria, the realtor. If you like me, great. It's a 50-50 chance you're going to like me or hate me. All right, I'll take the chance, you know? But that is what is just be yourself and definitely hang out with people that can teach you. If there's somebody that you think is going to teach you a lesson, go ask them. Say, hey, can I shadow you? Or say, what can I do to help your business? I have people come into me, what can I do to help your business? And I'm like, you want to help my business? Yeah. Well, if you know anyone about house, let me know. You know what they do? They start posting on Facebook. Oh, this awesome realtor. If you guys need a realtor, she's awesome. Guess when they inbox me again and they want advice, guess what I do? I give them all my time and energy because they wanted to help me first. It wasn't about them. It was about me, and then they needed something from me at that time. You
That's
ask
amazing.
people to help you. How can I make your life better? And they're like, my life? Why do you want to make my life better? Oh, just whatever you need, I can help. You know, I can run an errand for you if you want. Whatever you need, let me know. They're like,
Hey, Hey, it's Tanya. I'm calling a quick timeout intermission huddle, so bring it in. I'm personally inviting you to our inner circle. It's our monthly VIP meetup with other achievers just like us. Each week, I'm teaching everything you're going to need in order to be successful to step into the most elite version of yourself. I'm going to break this down play by play, the tools, the systems, the strategies, everything you're going to need in order to operate at higher levels mentally, physically, emotionally, and energetically. Look, we're in a season where the idea of full potential just isn't cutting it anymore. It's time to really be it now. So click the link in the show notes and I'll see you in the inner circle. Peace. I love
So that's
how
what,
even in the event, Pace and Jamil, they talked about like giving being the greatest filtration system. And that was like, that really got me like, whoa. So what you're talking about is like when you're talking about friends or people trying to get into your friend zone, it's like a filtration system of how much people give. And it could be their time, it could be something in the business, it could be and no expectations or anything like that. You mentioned when we were talking, I thought it was really powerful. And I think it's important to share with everybody watching. Now, when you had built your queen up now, or I think it was the ladies' locker room back then, you said, right? When you had created that, you had mentioned that you had to shut it down because you were attracting a different caliber of a woman when you were in your transitional phase of your own growth work and you were shape shifting the woman you are today, like the becoming and the stepping into Victoria now. Can we talk a little bit about like how we attract what we're internally suppressing? So if you're attracting people you're like criticizing on them, it's actually your mirror. Do you know what I'm going at here?
that's when we had that Facebook page, the ladies locker room. We had over 27,000 women on there, and I was not in the best place. This was probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago. But what happened is we had a local doctor here in El Paso that just hates the ladies locker room because these women kept posting. So it's like, I need recommendations on a plastic surgeon to get implants. Okay. So all these women are saying, go to this doctor, but do not go with this particular doctor because he will botch you. And it wasn't 1, 2, 3, it was about 10 women that talked bad about this doctor, right? He came after me and started saying that it was my responsibility because I was admin in the group that I should not let that happen. And he was going to sue me and all this stuff. And I was like, well, it's not my fault. I mean, if you check your own Google reviews, that has nothing to do with me. And I just saw a lot of the women being super catty. They were not lifting each other up. Like this one woman put an anonymous post on, guys, beautiful queens. I feel like my husband's not giving me what I need, and I just feel that urge to, I don't know, cheat. He's a good guy, he works hard, he's never out partying with his friends, but he's not giving me what I need. That's a question. A true queen, a true woman is going to answer like, you know what, like, let's see what's going on, let's figure out what's going on between you and your husband before you take that decision, because it can affect not just you guys but your children. We had so many women on there, you stupid a hoe, I can't believe you have a good man and you would do something like that. I mean, there was hundreds of posts like that. Like, this woman is crying out to us, this is what I want to do, I haven't done it yet, but this is what I'm feeling, give me advice. It was so ugly. This lady was pregnant and the anonymous post, and everybody went at her and attacked her. And I said, this isn't what I created this for. And there's a lot of women that got blocked and kicked out because they call each other, you dumb this, and you're just really ugly names. And I'm like, hey, she's asking for advice. She needs us. She needs that motherly, nurturing woman to take her hand and say, hey, I know that feeling, I've been through that feeling, but cheating right now, it's not a good thing because you're going to feel bad. Your kids are going to suffer. is just not a good thing. Let's figure this out together and try to work this out. I don't need you to call me a hoe and all that stuff. That's ridiculous. Does that make sense? Like, so it was like,
Yeah.
done. We're done. Let's start over again. And within, I kid you not, within not even 3 months, we had like over 10,000 women.
Were they like, but so I guess like that of course is a great thing you have to shut it down. I think that's a great example of like, you got to shut it down, because if you are allowing it, like gossip, you're an active participant, you're just as
Yes.
guilty. But have you noticed, as you've also cleaned up now yourself, that you're also attracting a different caliber of women around you? I guess what I'm saying, that transitional period of like eliminating toxic friends because you were toxic. So at one point you attracted that because they are you and you are them.
Yes. And now that's so true, because I was always gossiping about other women. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I just stop myself, because it's human nature. You know, and I just got to catch myself and stop myself. I mean, it's hard when especially because my team is just women, you know, and we have to put a stop to it. But after I did heal, because I had to heal from everything I went through. You know, when I would look at a girl dressed all like, in my opinion, that I said, oh, skanky, that's because I felt that I was skanky, you know, and realized that till I started going to therapy, and I started, like you said, it's a mirror, you know. So when I call somebody name, guess what? Who I'm calling that name to? Me, because that's what I believe I am. And I have to put my beliefs on what I think I am on them, but I'm too Miss Goody Two Shoes where I'm like, oh, they are not me. I know the truth. I know what's going on in here. I know that I feel that, and I have to project it on somebody else. So I've learned that, and I stopped myself. And now that you're the caliber of women, it's so funny to me, because I tell my husband, like, I have friends that are doctors, attorneys, and they're calling me, like inboxing me, texting me. Hey, Victoria, do you have time to do lunch next week? I want to run this business by you. I want to run, you know, this little personal challenge that I have by you. And I'm like, you do know who you are, right? I'm like, you're like one of the biggest doctors here in El Paso, and you're like a multimillionaire. You're asking me, and I'm like, wait, what? Really? And that takes a minute too, because I actually had to take that in. Me, little old me, like, okay, 51-year-old grandma, no high school, dropped out in the 9th grade, no formal education, been married a couple of times, relationship after relationship after relationship. My mom gave me up at 2 weeks old. My aunt is the one that raised me, and my grandmother. And here I am giving advice to these women that are college educated and multimillionaires. Me. It still like blows my mind. Like, they want my advice. Isn't that amazing?
It's so amazing. I could actually relate to you, because I myself, high school dropout, teen mom, you know, and it just goes to show our audience that it doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is like, as long as your mental state is, I want more, I need to grow more, you can find the way of how to do it. There's so many options in this world. Thank God we're all live in America, that, you know, the country of opportunity, that we can do it. It just starts with you and your mental state. So working on yourself, because you even said, you know, you first worked on yourself to be able to keep elevating. So that's one thing that we hear in common over and over and over again with all these successful women that we interview, is that they first worked on themselves. So that's a big key point that I want everybody to really take home and really meditate on and think about, that you only know what you need to work on. Like, all have a story. We all started our journeys for different reasons. Everyone watching now needs to find their reason, their why they need to change, why they want to elevate.
That's amazing. And that you guys don't need to do it on your own, you know, like like I have coaches, Daniela has coaches, you have coaches. Like we don't do it on our own. Like when you're in the space of change and transformation, you feel so weak and vulnerable and confused. And I think a lot of people don't talk about that. Like finding, if you don't trust yourself yet, you hire somebody that you can trust until you start to feel strong enough to be on your own.
Absolutely. Mentors are so important. And I mean, come on, we got to pay for it. You know, change is a change, and don't be cheap, because if you're cheap with that, you're going to be cheap with other things. I mean, you can't do that to yourself. You have to love yourself enough to say, I'm worth paying these $1,500 or $100. I'm worth it. You know, I mean, we go to eat all the time and spend $2,000-$3,000 a month just on meals. A lot of us do that. Don't tell me we don't. A lot of us do that.
And but for our nails, like, come on.
Yeah,
I know.
$100 nowadays. I paid $100 for nails. Like, add it up.
I did 85
weeks. You know, it adds up. So why could you invest on your physical self, but not the most important self, which is your soul? What's going to actually help you move forward, elevate, what's going to help you raise your children, what's going to help you, you know, attract that man or build that relationship with your man. Because my personal relationship didn't get stronger until we did the work. And Tanya could attest to that. Like, we first had to do the work to be able to first run a successful business. Second, lead a successful business, because we have employees under us, and most importantly, to be able to raise our children.
Yes.
So
yes,
I have to work.
That's the biggest thing is people don't understand. It's like, if you want to be a leader, you have to learn how to lead yourself before even thinking you're even capable of leading another person. And that could be a leader in your family, you know, being the spine of the family, you know, being a leader in your company. If you can't lead yourself first and you don't believe or trust yourself enough to know that you're capable of making the right decisions, there's no way you're going to be successful in your business.
Yes. And this is something I tell the queens, you know, at Queen Up Now, is like, girls, we're the pillars of our household. We're it. If we walk around defeated, so will everybody in our household. We have to know that. If we're depressed on a daily basis, our kids are looking at us with their little eyes or their big eyes, and they're like, wow, I want my kids, my grandkids, to, when they look at me with their big eyes, to say, man, that's my mom. My grandma is amazing. Look at my Nana. She is awesome. I don't want my kids and my grandbabies to be like, oh, I would see my grandma, my Nana crying all the time. Pobrecita, poor thing. No, heck no. I want them to look at a powerhouse and be like, that's my mama. That's my Nana. Because when I leave this world, that's what I expect my two girls to continue, that legacy, so their kids can have a different life. But it's all up to us. We are the pillars of our household, ladies. We are the ones that are going to make the difference. I'm not saying the men. Our kids follow us. They're our kids. Yes, they helped us make them. And yes, dads are important. But we're it. That's it. We walk around defeated. So will everybody else in our household. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. I always say women are for sure, like, we love our men, but women are the spine. You know, and when a woman is in her power, like, it, like, game on. I don't say game off, like, it's like game on.
Yes. Yes, you know? I love game on.
Game on. If anybody in the audience has questions, I see Stephanie in here. She's for sure bossed up and queened up now. If you guys have any question in the audience, please, like, for Victoria or based on this conversation, just go ahead and put your comment below and we will be happy to make sure we answer it. I know you were getting a lot of people, like, saying amazing things earlier. Loving these lives.
So We have a question. Level Up Letty is asking, Queen Up Now, where do you go to therapy?
So I started with hypnotherapy. Okay. And at first I went to El Paso because I'm from El Paso, Texas. And I went with the hypnotherapist here. And I mean, I started with her. So they had told me about her and I went with her, and she does Spanish only. She does hypnotherapy in Spanish. Her first language is Spanish. She doesn't even do English. But the first time I went, I was super depressed. This was like 9 years ago. And I go and I'm like, just help me, fix me. Okay. First session. I didn't go back for 4 months because at that time everything was great. But instead of going back every week, I didn't. I stopped. I went back 4 months later. Magda, please help me. I don't know what's going on in my life. And she's like, okay, we're going to do this again. I didn't go back again for 6 months till I needed her. Does that make sense? I needed her. So I started calling her. She finally said, hey, listen, you're wasting your money. If you cannot commit to once a week with me, we're just going to be doing back and forth this dance. It's not going to work. You have to give me a commitment once a week. Ooh, once a week. I'm busy. Oh my God, no, I'm too busy. I can't do this. And then I took a step back and I said, you know what, Victoria, you cannot be too busy for your own, salvation. Like I was tired. I was tired of fighting with everybody. I was tired of going from relationship to relationship to relationship. I used to blame these men and be like, he did this and he did that and this one and this one and this one. And then I'm like, well, maybe, just maybe, it maybe could be me. I mean, because I'm a common person with all these people. I'm the only one fighting with them. Maybe it's me. So I started going. I committed once a week. The first month I did twice a week, then once a week. I would call her because I was crying every day. And I told her, I'm like, I feel worse now. She says, yes, because you're healing. Everything's coming out. It's okay to cry. Get it all out, all out. And now let me tell you, my entire family goes. My kids, my husband, we all go to her. Maintenance once a month. I go just to make sure everything's good. And that's an investment on a weekly basis. But it's the best investment I could have done in my entire life. I feel different. I'm always going to different events. I've done different plant medicine. I do Reiki, therapy, anything you can think of, I'm there. Why? Because I want to heal. Because if I know that if I'm a healed woman, then my kids will be healed through me. I know my mom will be better. I know the people around me will feel that. I'm not the same Victoria from 10, 15 years ago. If you ask somebody that knew me 15 years ago, they're like, she's crazy, man. That girl fights all the time. Always, like, seriously, ex cheated on me. I got a bat and I messed up his car. That's how. And I'm telling you, I'm being transparent because you need to understand where I came from. I had so much anger because of my childhood. Anger. No, if you said something mean to me, what fighting all the time, like golf club. Well, I missed his head, but thank God. But what I'm getting at is that this was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
When people see me from 15 years, they're like, wait, what just happened?
You have to reintroduce yourself, right?
Oh yeah, now it's so different. Now people look at me like, wow, I'm proud of you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself too. I mean, I've come.
I have a question for you. Because I'm resonating with everything you're saying, girl. I got the other side of me. Her name's Yaya, and she hood. With the fighting, with the craziness, like that was me.
Yeah.
Was me. Key point. So, what do you say the people that knew the old you and now are, for example, because you'll hear this, because I'll hear it. I've heard it. Oh, you think you're too good now. Oh, you're just putting up a front. Oh, that's not really you. You're still crazy, or what do you say to the people that doubt your growth, doubt that you're changing?
So I had this one lady that I knew from a long time ago, and she did say that to me. She's like, "You think you're all that?" And I was like, "I am all that, girl. Look at me. I used to be all crazy and psycho, and I've learned to control myself. So I am all that. Aren't you proud of me? High five." And she's like, "I'm like, high five."
Kill 'em behind.
I
You
love that.
take it when they're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I remember." Okay, so I've been married a few times, right? And this is something I used to hate when people would tell me, because it was very embarrassing to me. You know, it's like, "Aren't you like on your third marriage?" And I would get all like, "Yeah, but this is a real one." You know what I mean? And it would just, I finally learned, because I have a cousin that would always tell me that, or well, I'm not even gonna, anyway, they would tell me, "I've been married 30 years and you're like on your third marriage, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I've been married 30 years too, just 10 years with different people. You've been married to the same guy, miserable, those whole 30 years. So, I mean, I think I'm winning, girl. I mean, come on. 10, 10, 10. I have been married 30 years, just with different people." And they're like, "High five. Own
That's
it.
amazing.
You think you're all that?" "Yeah, I really am,
Oh
girl. I
my
went through
gosh.
hell." "Oh, you think you're
Isn't it
rich?" "I am rich."
isn't it funny how the things we used to be embarrassed about, after you do the work, you're like proud of them? Like, I hated when people would be like, "How old are your kids? How old are you?" Wait, you had your kid at 16? I'm like, "Yep, I sure did." Before, I used to be so embarrassed, like,
Yes.
no, I'm proud of myself. I'm an amazing mother. I've done everything for my children, and look at me now, running seven figure
Yes. Yes,
business.
queen.
Yeah, so to all of you that are hiding in shame with whatever it is, own it.
Yeah.
Own it and let that be your power, because it's gonna not, you're gonna be surprised how many people could relate to you. And
Yes.
able to be the power for somebody else, to be the courage to be like, "You know what? That's me too. You're crazy.
Yeah.
I'm crazy." We were crazy.
Yes. Yes.
Not
We
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
grow.
no,
passionate.
exactly. But it's just things that happen in our lives that are meant to mold us. So own it now and don't let it be your ball and chain that's holding you back.
Absolutely. I mean, I got pregnant at 15, girl. I had my daughter at 16, and I was embarrassed before. I'm like, "Oh my God," everybody's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, I don't recommend it to anyone, because it's like you're raising a child, but that was my journey. I got pregnant on purpose. Mine wasn't an oops. I picked the guy, which was way older than me, and I knew he had a job. I needed to get out of my aunt's house. I had to get out because she was too negative. So I picked and said, "I'm going to get pregnant. That's the only way I'm going to be able to get out of this household, is getting pregnant." So that one has a job. He's all right. He ain't that ugly. He's cute. He's okay. Oh, and he has a new truck. That's the guy I want. Imagine a mentality of a 15-year-old picking a 22-year-old. And don't get me wrong, it was like, "Bro, you're way too young." But of course, I always looked older than my age. I was like, "No, I'm 18. It's like, "No, I don't think you're 18. I think your cousin said you were only 15. But I did that. I created that to get out of that environment I was in. Isn't that crazy? Like, how does a 15-year-old think? But I am grateful for everything. Like, that journey I went through, I had to go through it. Everything I went through in my life, and I'm not saying I had a horrific life, because I hear stories and I'm like, "Oh no, man, I had a good life." I went through it not for me. It was everybody else, because I needed God, or whatever you guys believe in, God, the universe, Buddha, whatever you believe in, picked me because he knew that I could handle it. He knew that this Victoria could handle anything. So he said, "That's my child. I'm going to pick her, because everything that she went through, she's going to be able to help thousands and thousands and thousands of women with her story." And I was, so now,
Millions,
you
billions.
for that journey. So excited about it. Yes.
Yeah,
And it's,
that's a,
I love,
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, everybody watching, it's not about, and that's the biggest difference between a victim consciousness and a winner consciousness is why this happened to me versus like, what am I gonna do with this story? How's this story gonna be, rolled out for the rest of
Yes.
my life? What am I gonna do with it, and how am I gonna turn this into something that I can actually like own and not be ashamed of?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Now, especially when you overcome a certain situation, like now you're looking back and saying, oh, okay, well, I had to go through that to become the person I am. Like with me, when I got pregnant, I feel like now when I look back, God sent me my child because he saved me from myself. I was
Mm-hmm.
this crazy, rowdy teenager, and I wasn't planning on getting pregnant, but God knows why he does certain things to certain people to be able to mold them and help them overcome so that they, like you said, Victoria, help others in their time of need. And
Yeah.
the thing is, how you're saying, Tanya, it's not having that victim mentality, because there's people that you'll share a story and they'll be like, oh, well, I had it worse. Well, I haven't been able to do that because I had it way worse. I got this and this and this and
Yeah.
this done to me. No, what your worst is could be the next person's easy, or vice versa. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
pity party. Hey, this happened. What am I going to do? How am I going to overcome this? And how am I going to grow and learn from it?
Yeah. And I love, somebody in the comment box said, I feel like a ton of women are programmed to not feel too confident. And if we are considered too cocky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. A man can go into a room and drive this awesome Ferrari, and it's like, man, what a nice car. A woman gets out of the same car, and it's like, wow, wow. It's like, does she even
Yeah.
have kids? Or where to put the car seat? It's like, I
Or
have
who
an
bought that
Escalade.
for her?
Yeah. That's always
She
it.
bought it
Like,
herself.
yeah. Even in business, there's so many men that, oh, for example, Art and I were business partners. Oh, you wouldn't be able to do it without Art. Oh, you wouldn't. No, like, why is it that the woman has to be the one that can't be the one that's leading? Why do
Yeah.
we have to be the second in line? No,
But
that's the reason why Queen Up Now and Minding My
yes.
started. We have created our own table because we're gonna rise. It's our time now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what this really, really blows my mind? We do it to ourselves. I was in this network marketing company a while back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hit a big position, a diamond position. The guy that brought me in, diamond position. Both of us were equal, equal. When he would walk into a room, oh my God, you should have seen these women. And it's us women. Hi, can I take a picture with you? Oh, hi. I mean, they were like, didn't even know where to go just to get his attention. Here's me walking into a room. A few women, hi, Victoria, can I take a picture with you? Yeah, sure, of course. I'm like, we have the same position and we make the same amount of money, and I can go on the stage just like he does. We did it together, but yet he got all the attention, all these, and it wasn't from the men, it was from the
Mm-hmm.
women. The men are not going to be like that with me. They're going to be like, oh my God, Victoria, can I take a picture? No, the women were all about him. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
like, you're not going to relate to this guy because he's a man. If you're going to relate to somebody, if you want to, I can show you how I did it, because we're women. It was just like, I walked in like, and I'm not saying like, because if I'm going to learn, I want to learn from somebody a woman that's going to, what did you do, Victoria? But it was a woman that lifted him up so high. Facebook, oh my God, this guy's so amazing. This man, he changed my life. And I'm like, girl, you're on my team and I'm the one that trained you, right? I was like, I couldn't believe it. It's like, I sat there with you for hours and he changed your life. Like, you don't even talk to the guy. What are you talking about? You think that just came to my mind, and I was like, wow.
Yeah. Because
So
I
let's
know.
change it, queens. Let's change it. Let's lift each other up, and we were put on this earth to do that for one another. Why
Yeah.
not? Let's help each other out.
Yeah. And also with the right group of people, you know, you're going to know who the right group is, but you first have to heal yourself. And when you heal yourself, you're going to attract, as you mentioned, the frequency and the energy of the people that have also done the work. So thank you so much for being on Minding My Business, because that's what it's about, is like staying in your lane, minding your business, do the work, and then you come out on the other side and everybody gets to celebrate you. And we wanted you on the show. We wanted to celebrate you today and all of your growth and what you're doing for the community. And we really, you know, we really admire and value and appreciate you. So thank you so much for being on our show today.
And just remember, healing is every day. It never stops. I'm healing from on a daily basis. 10 years from now, I'm going to continue to heal. If you don't heal and then you have a perfect life, you still have those little storms coming. So it's okay to have those little storms, you know? And just remember, I want to thank both of you. I really appreciate both of you amazing, beautiful queens. Like, I can't even, like, I look at both of you and I'm like, man, these girls are doing everything right. Like, they are helping these women get to the next level. And to me, that's super, super important. It just shows that you're a true queen, just beautiful souls, and that you're loving and caring and nurturing women, which is what we need. We need more of us out there, you know?
But
Yeah,
authentically doing it. Yeah,
yeah,
authentically doing it, you know, because energy is real and it can be felt. So thank you
yes.
so much for being on
For
Minding My
having me
Business.
on. I
Where
truly
we
appreciate you. And don't forget, Queen Up Now. Women,
clean
if you
up
walk around,
now.
so will everybody around you. So be that kind of woman, that kind of queen that says, love life and life will love you right back. Bye, beautiful.
Bye. Thank you so much for being on Minding My Business. We're here to elevate your business, your mindset, and
Your life.
bye, everybody. Thank you.